Hello, so what you guys can do is copy the notes either by hand or using the skeletal notes that I gave you, either or. Here's Unit 5, Earth's History. All right, so there are 14 geological periods that, sorry, I kind of lost myself, that break up the history of the Earth. You're looking on this page, page 8. Sorry, page 8, right there, page 8. The most recent, the one that we live in, periods, it's right there. It's called the Quaternary, which extends from the present day to 1.8 million years ago. So if you were to go over to near life on Earth, it would give you the years. That is followed by the Neogene, then the Paleogene, the Cretaceous, the Jurassic, Triassic. So those three, the Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic, those three are the dinosaur periods. I know a lot of people have seen Jurassic World, which came off of Jurassic Park. And I know Jurassic sounds really, really cool, but actually most of the dinosaurs you see in that movie are from the Cretaceous time period. So that it should be called Cretaceous Park, but it's not. All right, so these, once you get down to here, they're followed by the Permian, Carboniferous, Devonian, Silurian, Ordovician, and Cambrian. Here's a little note. The Carboniferous is split into two, where you have the Pennsylvania and the Mississippian. Okay, so counting it all up, there's only 12 right there. But there are 14. There are two more. So if you were to look around, see, there's the periods right here. If you were to look all the way over here, you would notice in where you colored gray that you have two more. Oh, sorry. The Proterozoic right there and the Archean. So go to the top of era right here. At the top of the page, page 8, the first 12 periods are broken into 3 eras. You have the Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic. And if you go back up to eon, so there's my era, and my eon is right here. That is broken into the Cenozoic, the Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic are part of the what eon. So if you look at this, all this pink filters into one little part, and this one little part right there is the Phanerozoic eon. The Archean and the Proterozoic are part of the, so these two that are in the gray right there are part of the Precambrian eon. Okay, so go to the bottom of the Archean period, so all the way down here. Earth is estimated, you can see a time frame right there, and this is in millions of years. It says millions of years up here, so all the way down here. The Earth is said to be 4,600 million years ago, or 4.6 billion years ago. The early Earth was just a ball of molten rock with volcanoes going off everywhere. There was no life, there was no water, there was no oxygen. Water arrived at our planet roughly, trying to think. All right, it doesn't say it, but it is roughly, sorry, it's going backwards, 3.8 billion years ago. 3.8, I'm trying to think. 3.8. So it says evidence of biological carbon, earliest stromatolites, oldest microfossils. So right about there would be where the water arrived on the planet. The first forms of life that give us oxygen are called stromatolites. They're otherwise known as algae, about 3.5 billion years ago. So there's roughly a couple years difference between when water showed up and when algae and stromatolites and the first bacteria were formed. For the first 4 billion years of Earth's history, there was no life on land, none, and almost none in the ocean during the Archean and Proterozoic. It wasn't until about 54 million years ago at the Cambrian boundary that life suddenly began to explode in the oceans. So you can see that right there. It does state it in your reference table. Then life finally came up on land during the Silurian period. And you will see right here what I'm talking about with the first plants and then animals. So if you were to look, most that it says right there, earliest plants and animals. Using your reference table, very big thing. All right, so now we're going to actually utilize the reference table in finding certain things. I'm putting my face up here. So fishes, first earliest fish. So I'm looking on here and look right down here. Earliest fish come in the middle Cambrian. All right, insects. Let's see, insects right here, earliest insects are in the late Silurian. Mammals, where are the earliest mammals? Let's see. Earliest mammals, right there, late Triassic. Birds are in, there's the earliest birds are in the late Jurassic. Flowering plants, earliest flowering plants in the early Cretaceous. Grasses, let's look for the earliest grasses. Look up here, earliest grasses are in the Oligocene, Oligocene, and which is in the Paleogene period. So this, you'll notice that mostly all of the epochs are early, late, middle, except for up top where you've got the Pliocene, Miocene, Oligocene, Paleocene, and the one that I'm covering up. Okay. Finally, last but not least, there were two major mass extinctions, and the first one, the earliest one, was about 251 million years ago, right here, mass extinction at the Permian-Triassic boundary. And then the other one is up here. It's at 65.5 million years ago during the, or in between the Paleogene and the Cretaceous periods. Okay, so that is it for the notes for right now. Make sure to hop on Zoom with me, finish up the lab, which you need your reference table, some colored pencils, and a camera. Also, don't forget to do the pre and post. If you have questions, let me know. Have a great day, guys.